Why am I resorting to just good enough and not even happy with myself? Like I'm going backwards. So I think it was clothes not fitting anymore, Andy planting the seed a little bit where I was like, okay, maybe I'll give this a shot. It wasn't like this epiphany, like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this. It was slowly but surely, I just got to a point where I got tired of it. And that's not who I am. So my name's Rosie. I am 52 years old. I'm a native of St. Louis, so I've lived here all my life. Have two adult kids. Work in finance. Have worked in finance my entire career, mostly working from home, but it's been amazing. And I have two dogs. Yeah, just pretty. I don't know, just pretty uneventful. Just kind of living life, but yeah, that's who I am. I'm Sicilian. I don't know if I told you that. Yeah, my parents are immigrants, so there's a lot of layers here, but that's the gist of it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to draw this out too much, but let's start with COVID, like 2020. I don't know. That was kind of like I felt the beginning of things going downhill. COVID was a really hard time for everyone. I drank a lot. I drank alcohol a lot daily. I vaped. I used to be a smoker, and I vaped a lot. I ate a lot. Like whatever I wanted to eat, I ate it. I was like, whatever. It's COVID. Everyone's inside. It doesn't matter. And the funny thing is, that pattern continued for a few years, and so kind of, I started putting on more and more weight, and I would just buy new clothes and I'm like, whatever, I don't care. This is just who I am. Then fast forward to like May of last year. And so my family's from Sicily, and I go back to Sicily quite a bit. I actually just purchased my family home there, which is awesome. So that's one of my projects. But I got there and my whole family was there, my brothers, my kids, and I was just not myself. I was bloated and tired. I did not have any energy. I was starting to feel like I was slipping back into this, from a mental health perspective, that kind of declined too, like from 2020 on. I started going to therapy and trying to figure that all out. But I felt like I was kind of slipping back into that. And, poor mental health. I wanted to sleep a lot. I had just quit vaping the month before. So I'm like, maybe that's why I have low energy, because I don't have all this nicotine in my system. So I just kept gaining more and more and more weight and just tired. And I don't know, I just felt like a blob, just sluggish. Yeah, I'm like, is this just who I am? Like, I guess I just need to deal with this. Maybe this is just who I am and who I was meant to be, which really sucks. And I did, talk to my doctor. I'm like, hey, am I perimenopausal or menopausal? And she's like, you really could do with some estrogen. And so she gave me this patch, which I, wore in Sicily, and it did nothing, like absolutely nothing. And I'm like, well, I mean, I guess this is my life. I'm 52. It's downhill from here. I'm just going to go with it and like do the best that I can with what I have. And I don't know, maybe, the weight will come off at some point. I felt like the only way that I could lose weight was by starving myself. Like I couldn't get the weight off, and I just kept buying bigger clothes. And again, I was like, I guess this is me. So I need to learn how to embrace and deal with the new me. And that sucks. Like that's not a good frame of mind. So thank God for Andy. Yeah, for me, it was, I mean, I still continue to walk, which was great. But I think for me, I don't know if it's a motivator as much as like I think back to many years ago when I quit smoking and I gained a ton of weight, and I went to Weight Watchers. This is really old school. Like I'd go step on a scale in front of people and weigh myself, and it was really effective. And at that time, the motivator was, oh my God, I am one size below my mother. We can't have this. My motivator this time was, it was like, I don't know, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, "Oh, I need to buy bigger clothes now." I just didn't like the way that I looked. And, I don't know, I was like, maybe, and Andy, we had talked about, he's like, I think you're really missing hormones. And I really think, and I'm starting to do this hormone replacement therapy. And I'm like, I don't know. And, he kind of planted the seed. And then after a minute, I was like, what's the harm in trying it? Why am I resorting to just good enough and not even happy with myself? Like I'm going backwards. So I think it was clothes not fitting anymore, Andy planting the seed a little bit, um, where I was like, okay, maybe I'll give this a shot. So it wasn't like this epiphany, like, oh my gosh, I got to do this. It was slowly but surely, I just got to a point where I got tired of it. And that's not who I am. So, yeah, I thought, what have I got to lose? Let's just try, see what happens. If it doesn't work, we'll try something else. So Andy, he lives very close to me. He's like my neighbor, but my dear friend. And Andy and I, he we do a lot of things together. We hang out. We used to play, for a little bit, like the ukulele together. He wanted to learn a stringed instrument, and late in life, I learned how to play the piano, read music, play the ukulele, try to keep my mind sharp. Um, but I think it was he kept planting the seed. He's like, and here's the other thing. I look at Andy and I'm like, wow, he looks so good. And his partner is like amazing. They're in such good shape. And um, Andy just continued to push me, not in a negative way. Just come on, like I really, you will just trust me. You will feel so much better. And so I think it was just, and I trust Andy. Andy has never steered me wrong ever. He is so smart and so empathetic, and he's gentle, so he wasn't like trying to push this on me, but I think because he cares about me so much, he's like, there's something in there that we want to kind of draw out, and I want to go on this journey with you. So I just, I'm like, let's do it. Let's go. So that's why I decided to work with Andy. I trust him. I really do. Um, I mean, that's the bottom line. Yeah. So, couple things on the hormone, because we have two components of this. We have hormone replacement therapy, and we have GLP-1. Like I've done both, and it's you can't just do one thing and expect results. It's kind of all of these things together. So initially, he also was talking about, so the hormone replacement therapy for me was easy. He's like, look, you need more than just estrogen. That's not enough. He is specializing in this. Like he knows so much about just women and menopause and what hormones work, and that I think here it's not a one size fits all thing. You go get blood work, then you look at the levels, then it's like a customized, tailored program for you, because everybody is different. It's just not like, here, slap this patch on and you'll be okay. Like he really gets it. So that journey, so the hormone replacement therapy for me was like, I mean, that was a no brainer. I'm like, okay, I'm missing the hormones. Tell me why I need these. And he did. Like, I can't believe women, and it's not knowing that we just go around and we're like, we don't need these things. Like, we'll get over it and we'll feel better. It's like, it's mind boggling to me. So I did not have a lot of awareness. So he educated me on that. The GLP-1, that one I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. That's cheating. And he's like, what? It is not cheating. I said, I just don't know. Cause I've seen a lot of people on Ozempic, and it's just, they're shedding like a ton of weight, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like I want to lose weight, but I want to do it the right way. This is, just my kind of old school. I don't want to cheat. He's like, Rosie, it's not cheating. And he started explaining to me that our body naturally produces GLP-1, the GLP-1 hormone. And, this is it's more of an assistant to kind of help you, just like medication. to help you get over that edge or to help you along. And you can't just do that and do nothing else. You've got to change your diet. You've got to exercise and whatever. So the GLP-1, and he's like, look, we'll start you on the lowest dose and we're going to keep you on the lowest dose. And you're just going to lose a little bit of weight every week. And that's sustainable. And I was like, when he positioned it that way, I'm like, well, that makes sense. So I started doing that. And then it was fine. I tried to eat better, but the GLP-1, the terzipatide plus is what it is, was like, I didn't have any appetite. So I really wasn't, so I was like forcing myself to eat and stuff. And then Andy's like, I have a personal trainer that I want you to meet. And we've been going to him and he's fantastic. And so I got used to the hormones were easy. The GLP-1 was like, okay, yeah, I'm losing weight, but I don't want to lose muscle mass. So I need to start working out. So then the trifecta was Drew coming in January. And Andy kept pushing me. He's like, I said, I'll call him. And he's like, Drew's holding a spot for you. And I'm like, he is? So Andy kind of gently nudged me along and I called him, and I have been seeing Drew since January. And I'm doing strength training with him. So it's like a domino effect, Evan. You start with one thing, then you add something else, then you add something else. And now I'm doing that plus yoga once a week, Pilates once a week, strength training twice a week. I walk every day with both of my dogs. And if I went back to where I was, I just wouldn't be able to, I'm like, how did I do that for so long? This feels so much better. So let's start with physically. Since I've done all of this and started to see the trainer, my food intake is just amazing. I'm eating a lot of lean protein and vegetables and like just the good stuff, right? Things that are high in GLP-1 and just, high protein, some fat, whatever. But you know the drill. And because my body is getting used to this food, it's a lifestyle change. It's not a diet, okay? And so, yeah, I still eat cookies and cake or whatever because I want to. I should not deprive myself of those things. But the healthy eating is really, your body gets used to it. And when, I used to eat Burger King and McDonald's and I don't think I could even eat a hamburger. It would probably make me sick. But, so it's good. That's a good thing. So physically I feel stronger, healthier, more energy. Like I'm at my prime, and I'm going to get to a point when I'd say probably early 40s, maybe 10 years ago, I was probably in the best shape of my life. You can see my abs. I look great. I'm going to get back there and then some. So that's how I'm feeling physically. Mentally, oh my gosh, mentally has just been, I've been in, I go to therapy and stopped going because it was all good. And then, some more things came up and they weren't serious, but just some things that I wanted to tackle. And I am in probably the best mindset that I have ever been in my entire life. That is not an exaggeration. It took me a while to get here, but hey, better late than never, right? And so I am to a point now where I feel in control and empowered and like nothing is that serious. Things are important, but life is not that serious. And whatever comes my way, we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Everything will be fine. And I'm actually starting to do some really deep therapy work that I would have never been able to do in the mindset that I was before. And it's just gonna continue to take me down this path of just being grounded and, just at peace. My life has always been drama from 18 years old on until probably, I'd say, 5 years ago. And I see this as my next chapter. It's just every day that goes by, every year that goes by, it just gets better and better. And number one, I don't think I'd ever have a sex drive again. I was like, and that I didn't even think about that. Like that wasn't even a priority at all. And now I'm like, wow, why would I give this up? So yeah, having a sex drive was like, everyone deserves to have a sex drive. It's great. So that was a surprising benefit from all of this that was not even a priority for me. And the second thing I would say is how strong I am. I did not picture myself going into this and like going to the gym twice a week and lifting weights and doing core exercises and just like watching my body literally change. And not even that, but just being strong. Like there are things that I couldn't do before. Like, I have these orange juice bottles that are so hard to open, and I have to like whack them with a knife and, just try to loosen them up. And now I'm just like, boop, like, oh my gosh. So I think those are the two surprising things, because what I expected going into this was, yeah, I'll lose weight, some, whatever that looks like. And yeah, I'll feel better. There's one more, and that's sleep. I didn't think my sleep is terrible. And I didn't think that anything could really help that. I think I have sleep apnea. I need to look into that. I still need to do a sleep study, but I am really focused on, my priorities and getting healthy. But I sleep like a baby. It's wonderful. I haven't slept like that in a long time. I got a new bed, a new mattress. It moves up and down. It's great. So yeah, I would say those three things: sex drive, strength, and sleep. 3 S's. Yeah. So, all right. So I have some short term and some longer term. So short term is kind of funny because my son's getting married. So my short term vision is I am going to look absolutely sexy in my mother of the groom dress. Like I'm going to be a badass. So that's one, just feeling really good about myself and, being able to, dress up and be happy for, my firstborn getting married to a wonderful woman and all that good stuff. So just like physical, it's not the most important, but hey, I'm just like, look, I'm going to rock it. So that's one. So kind of silly, but it's there. And then as far as longer term, this has kind of really opened me up to, so if you think about this, I have been married once and that's it. And I have been divorced since 2001, a very, very, very long time. I have been in a couple of relationships that were not for me. And because of that, I've kind of shied away from all of it. Like, I don't want to date anyone. I don't trust myself. I always pick like not the right people, not the right fit. So I've been working on that mentally and emotionally, and we're getting somewhere. But I think now with all of these changes that are happening and the momentum that I'm building, I'm starting to kind of create some space for maybe a new relationship at some point. So going to the YMCA, to the gym, and maybe doing some meetups at some point. I used to be really scared to do that, and now I'm like, why? Like, why? You're a rock star, and you've really started to, work on your stuff. So I would say creating space for a relationship at some point. And then I also see myself, I still see myself working. Like, that's not going to change. I'll work as long as I can. But spending a lot of time in Sicily and, with my house, and I have family there. So I think the future for me looks like a very strong, empowered, empathetic woman who makes space for people that enhance and enrich her life, and who is a light for others and a role model, or even just a shoulder to, lean on, or whatever it is, to say, hey, like, it's all good. You can follow me, and there are other people that I follow, but I just want to be an inspiration for others. And I want others to feel like they are not alone and they can do what they want. And so, yeah, I mean, and I kind of have this little mantra I say every day, be a light. My purpose in life is to be a light, to shine bright, and to make connections with others. That's what I do. So that's what I see for my future. I know it might be some of it's a little silly, some of it's a little deep, but I don't know. I guess it's pretty well-rounded. So I would say to them, you deserve so much more than you're allowing yourself right now. So whatever you're going through, if you feel like it's just not working, or I don't know, you're not trying hard enough, or everybody needs a little help and everybody needs a little motivation. So our physical health is so connected to our mental health. Like it's all connected. And so I would tell someone that your best life is out there. Like if they're in the same spot I am, you just gotta go get it. It's waiting for you. And it does take some work, but it is, as you start to create that momentum, like it's the best thing I've ever done. And I wouldn't say like I do regret not starting sooner, but you can't regret things. Like, look, I started, I did it, and it's fantastic. So I would just tell people, look, there's a better life out there for you. Like are you living your best life, or are you just settling? Because you don't have to settle, and you deserve more than you're allowing yourself. So go get it, because you are enough and you're worthy and you're valuable. So go get it. That's what I would say. That's number one. Why Andy? Oh my gosh. I could go on and on about Andy, but first of all, Andy is so extremely knowledgeable. This is what he specializes in. He specializes in hormone replacement therapy and just the connectedness of all of your internal systems in your body. Like everything works together. So one, he's an expert. Two, he's so empathetic. He's so gentle. He's not pushy. Like he's not going to push you to do something you don't want to do. He gives you all the benefits, pros and cons, and you work on your tailored program together. I would also say that he's like always available if I need him, if I have questions, if I have concerns. He's always checking in. And I think the biggest thing is, so Andy he'll do the hormone replacement therapy or the GLP-1, or, if you want to, I don't know, I might even get some Botox in my forehead. I don't know. That might be next. We'll see. But, and that's just, kind of lift things up. I've never thought about this kind of stuff, but it could be fun. But the one thing that Andy brings that I don't know if other practitioners do is like outside resources, like a personal trainer. I would not have expected that from a med spa. Like, yeah, let's bring in a personal trainer for you, or let me introduce you to this and that. So he brings outside resources in so that it's more holistic, and the combination of all the things gets you the results. He's also just really compassionate, and he will be your biggest cheerleader and your biggest fan. I am his biggest cheerleader. I love Andy. So that's why I would recommend him. I mean, there's more, but those are the main points. I would say, and I trust Andy. So for example, my primary care physician, here's the thing, there's a lot of information out there. So your primary care physician's probably not going to know very much. They're a general practitioner. They're not going to know a lot about everything. Any doctor that you go to that is just not, it's just general, not specializing in anything. So my approach is I'm going to tell my doctors what I'm doing. Like that's I've just made that decision. But if you're hesitant, if there's a lot of conflicting information out there, talk to Andy about your concerns. Andy does a ton of research. He's part of different forums and communities and groups that talk about this stuff on a regular basis. As things come up, they talk about it. They talk about the best path of treatment. what to avoid, what to, what to really encourage. And again, I've asked him, I'm like, I've had concerns about things like the GLP-1. So, and he was like, hey, kind of gave me his take, what he's hearing, and what all of the experts that focus on this are saying, so he can cut through the noise, and then even give you your own, articles to read or research, so that you feel comfortable. So that's what I would say. If you're hesitant, ask. And, Andy's got very prestigious credentials. And again, he's not going to do something or recommend something that's not good for you. Like, it doesn't make sense. And there is a lot of confusing information out there. And he's really helped me kind of cut through the noise.